Good afternoon and welcome to our broadcast at this hour. My name is Abdiaziz Hashim. The sign language interpreter at the bottom end of the screen is Brian Muraru. And quickly, I want to take you live to a health sector caucus comprising of various health unions who are meeting here in the capital. You can see they're addressing members of the Fourth Estate. Let's listen in.
And the policy guidelines which have been protecting our regulatory bodies and their functions. That would be so foolish. So we want to tell them that continue what you want to do, but remember, you are going or you are asking to come to your doorstep. These comrades here have today decided that they are going to fight tooth and nail until this thinking is dropped. Until we liberate our regulatory bodies and organizations that define our training and our functions. Nursing Council of Kenya, as one of the regulatory bodies, is under an act which was established in 1985 and was reviewed in 2012. It was reviewed to strengthen its establishment and functions. All the previous governments since that time were not so foolish to have strengthened the establishment of Nursing Council and its functions. We are saying that we shall not allow anybody to change anything, to merge or to declassify or reforming any policy backwards. We can only reform it to the benefits of the professionals and the consumers who are our patients and the citizens of Kenya. But we cannot do it back. We want to warn somebody who is sitting in Afia House.
Well, those are various unions that are currently addressing members of the Fourth Estate from Gong Road in one of their establishment. Now, some of the emerging issues they are raising in that particular press briefing is about, it includes the social health authorities, proposed merger of regulatory bodies, UHC, SAF, among others. Our very own Nancy Okware is currently attending that particular briefing, and we'll tell you more in our subsequent bulletins. Now, concurrently, there is also another function that is happening here in the capital, where it includes the Nairobi Governor Johnson Sakaja, who is currently at the City Park Market for the inspection of a solar-powered cold room pilot with inbuilt solar system. Let's listen in to the governor.
Putting solar and having a cold storage for our market. This is just a pilot, just to see how we can get it done and how we can do more of this. As you've heard from the ladies, and those who are selling in the market, the issues of heat, their produce goes bad very quickly. And so apart from the storage, there's some interventions we'll make as a county, including fans and the shades, because our intention is for them to do good business and to do it much better. So leo tuko hapa na wafadhili wetu, wageni wetu kutoka C40 ambao tunafanya kazi nao. Tumekuwa na kongamano ya mamea kutoka Afrika nzima ambao tumekuwa mkutano siku 3 sasa. Mambo ya kutafuta ufadhili wa kusaidia mambo ya climate change. Tumekuwa na mambo ya mafuriko, na moja wapo hiyo ni kupunguza ile emissions. The emissions from a market of the produce is very high. So kupunguza hiyo, kuhakikisha kwamba pia takataka inaangaliwa vizuri, kuangalia hii fridge ambayo itasaidia wamama wetu ambao wanauza vitu zao zisioze haraka. Ukimaliza kwa siku unaweka crate yako hapo, unaekewa, unachukua asubuhi. Na pia uko ndani kuhakikisha kuna circulation. So pia niko na chief officer wangu wa soko, huyu Wangoi, ambaye anashughulikia hiyo ili tuwawezeshe wafanye kazi zaidi na vizuri sana. So I'm very happy I have the executive director, I have our regional director Dora, and a few colleagues who are around with us. Yeah.
Well, that is Nairobi Governor Johnson Sakaja just addressing outside the City Park Market in terms of where he has inspected the solar-powered cold room pilot with an inbuilt solar system at the City Park Market. And of course, our very own Adan Ibrahim will be telling us more in our subsequent bulletins. Now to a tragedy here where a cloud of grief hangs over Gitaru village in Kabete constituency after a devastating fire claimed the lives of 3 children last night. The trio, aged 3 months, 4 years and 9 years, are reported to have been locked in the house by their mother as she went out before the fire broke out. The angry flames quickly spread through the village and 8 houses were reduced to ashes. Kabete Sub-County Police Commander, that is Anthony Mbogo, says investigations are ongoing to establish the cause of the 9 p.m. fire incident. Gitaru MCA Jen Dhogori has urged parents to take extra precaution and avoid leaving children unattended. The bodies of the victims have been transferred to the Thogoto Funeral Home awaiting postmortem.
Watoto watatu wa umri wa miaka 5 hadi miezi 6 ambao tumeweza kuwachukua sahi na kumpeleka makafasi ambako watalazwa huko tukingojea mipangilio ya mazishi.
Watoto walikuwa wameachwa peke yao na nyumba imefungwa. Kwa hivyo hiyo ndio imeshangia sana kwa sababu nyumba imefungwa. So unaona watoto walikuwa kwa mlango. Wanajaribu kutoka lakini vile wamepata kumefungwa, sasa moto ikawasidi kwa mlango na wakaanguka. Hapo ndio wamekufia.
Mimi ndio nawaambia, ujani nimeona nyumba zinachomeka huku, Gitaru huku juu, mbele ya Adrian na huko nyuma. Kwa sababu mimi nikaona watu wote wakikuja wakanielekana huko.
And we'll have more in our subsequent bulletins. Our very own Chumba is following on that particular story. Now, sexual and reproductive health rights lobbyists in Nakuru County have raised an alarm over the shortage of condoms in universities and other institutions of higher learning. Speaking during a community dialogue in Nakuru, the stakeholders observed that students have less access to toolkits that ensure safe and protected sex. They further emphasized the alarming rate of female students dropping out annually due to early pregnancies.
We are calling upon the government of this country that we've heard you talk about SHA, we've heard you talk about SHIF, we've heard you talk about NHIF, and majority of women are dying in these facilities. We've seen them not getting out alive, and that has even disconnected the families.
We don't have the necessary access to some of these toolkits that will help us. Like, for example, the condoms. We noticed that the supply of condoms has not been there in the institutions. Therefore, youths are just engaging carelessly, leading to the high numbers of HIV cases and unintended pregnancies.
I urge the young people to have these conversations, the way we talk about it in the language that we understand. Let us have a safe space where we can talk these issues without being discriminated.
The Kikuyu and Mijikenda Council of Elders have united with the Kimijikenda community in a historic alliance aimed at addressing social ills and fostering unity across the country. The alliance, formed after a closed-door meeting in Kilifi, emphasizes cooperation and harmony between the two councils with a focus on strengthening inter-ethnic relationship. National Chairman of the Kikuyu and Mijikenda Council of Elders, Wachira Kiago, stated that the goal is to reconcile all ethnic groups with plans to expand the alliance to include other councils across the country. Kiago emphasized that this effort is not political but focused on community unity and peace. Leaders from the various councils have expressed their commitment to promoting peace, cultural exchange and national development through this historic partnership.
Mwanasiasa ametutuma hapa, tunaongea kama wasee na tumeulizana mambo mingi, ni kitu gani hapa inatukosea. Unaweza kuta Kuna Mkikuyu mmoja anakuja anakosea Mjikenda hapa, alafu afanya jamii mzima ije ishughuliwe vibaya. Unaweza kuta naye mmoja Mjikenda amekuja amekosea Wakikuyu. Kama wasee sisi tukana haja sana na mapatano.
Manake tumeona bila kukaa pamoja hatuwezi kusaidiana, lakini I believe kwamba leo ndugu zetu council ya Kikuyu pamoja na council hizi za Kilifi tutaenda pamoja pasipo malumbani.
Hivi ndio tunataka kwenda, ili tukutane na community zote, council elders zote Kenya. Ikiwezekana baada ya kukutana iwe tunaweza kuchagua mwavuli mmoja kama vile ilivyokuwa maendeleo ya wanawake Kenya.
Umoja wa nchi ni muhimu kwa sababu tukiwa na umoja kila mtu ataishi na amani, kila mtu ataweza kufanya biashara yake, kila mtu ataweza kuendeleza maisha yake akiwa na amani.
A section of Njuri Cheke Meru Council of Elders have criticized a meeting reportedly held by a group of Meru County politicians barely hours after meeting with the Deputy President Kithure Kindiki at his current residence for a county development meeting. Led by the Njuri Cheke chairman Adriano Yaroyaro, the elders who spoke at the Njuri Cheke shrine in Tigania, Meru County, said the night meeting was uncalled for. According to the elders, the meeting may distract all development projects which were discussed during the developmental meeting.
Tukiwa pale ndani hakukuwa na malalamiko, sababu kama kuna mtu alikuwa anataka kulalamika angelalamika pale kwa Deputy President mwenyewe, sababu alikuwa mbitana. Lakini baada ya kila kitu ati inasemekana kuna mkutano mwingine miwekwa na members of parliament na MCAs wakiongozwa na Kiraitu Murungi.
Na namshukuru Deputy President kwa sababu ako na hekima kuu. Kuna watu walikuwa wamepanga mfurugano utokee kwa huo mkutano wa Deputy President. And I'm telling them shame on them kwa sababu walinataka kuharibu jina ya Meru. Kenya ituangalie na ulimwengu wote uangalie Meru kaa kwamba sisi ni watu ambao hawaelewi tunaenda wapi.
Nataka kuwasihi wakaaji wa Meru ya kwamba wakuwe na akili timamu. Kila mtu anafaa akimbilie kwa laini yake. Kama laini yako ndio hii na ukimbia kwa laini ya mtu mwingine utamwangusha. Unafaa kila mtu akimbilie kwa laini yake ili kila mtu ile kazi alipewa na wananchi aitekeleze.
Now to one of the neighboring counties of Meru, that is Isiolo County, where pastoralists have been encouraged to embrace the new culture of reducing the size of their heads by selling some whenever the dry season approaches, save and then restock when the situation becomes favorable. During an annual general meeting for members of the Rangelands SACCO held in Isiolo County, experts advised that the move will reduce the risk of incurring massive losses during perennial drought seasons, especially in northern Kenya counties. Various stakeholders hailed the move by the financial institution to impact financial literacy on livestock owners, leading to diversification of livelihood.
As a Rangeland SACCO, we focus so much onto members building so that our members can be able to change the livelihood of their families. You understand that there are pangs of drought that have been affecting northern Kenya. And since this is an alternative source of income, we are able now to bring them so that as livestock die due to drought, they have where to run and get some funds and do businesses.
Hii mabiashara kama ya mboga, kuku, tunawafund, tunawasia na pesa kidogo, wanafanya hii biashara, at least watoto wao wanapata pesa ya kwenda shule. Kwa hiyo kutokana na hizo biashara ambayo tunawafunza kuanzisha biashara na tunawapatia mkopo kidogo wa kuweza kuwashikilia.
Now to another event that is currently happening in Marsabit County, where it is an operation collaboration between police officers from the special police units and the Kenya Army domiciled at the Order Camp Forward Operating Base in Marsabit. It is all about the operation of Maliza Ujangili, a collaboration between the Kenya Defence Forces and the National Police Service that seeks to eliminate and neutralize the Oromo Liberation Army militia within here in the country. Let's listen into that particular story. Where, of course, it is all about the militia that are believed to originate from Ethiopia through the porous Moyale border. The operation was launched on the 3rd of February and has since the reclamation of 5 makeshift camps used by the militia in Isiolo and Marsabit County, a story that we're following up on. And, of course, as and when we get that particular link, we'll be sharing it with you. Elsewhere, Tharaka Nithi residents who have registered under the Social Health Authority in that particular region are set to access free health care in some facilities. Tharaka Nithi Governor Muthomi Njoki says the county has waived outpatient payments in level 3 hospitals. However, residents will have to pay for inpatient services. Njoki highlighted that the county government aims to increase the number of residents who register on the SHA platform from the current 27%.
Kama umejiandikisha SHA na ukalipa ile system imebuka ulipe, hakuna pesa nyingine utalipa katika hospitali ya Marimanti, hospitali ya Kibonga, hospitali ya Chuka na hospitali ya Magutuni. Utakuwa treated free of charge. Bora umefanya nini? Hata kama ulienda jana ukalipishwa ingine ukaambiwa ni extra, saa hii hakuna extra. Kama unapigwa picha, unafanyiwa dialysis, kitu yote unafanyiwa, bora umelipa ile pesa system imekwambia ulipe, utapata treatment bila nini? Ya bure.
Herders in Samburu County have received better breeds of camels and goats known to be drought-resistant. The Somali breed of camels and Ngala goats supplied by the county government are said to produce more milk and meat than the local Samburu breeds. Chief Officer Livestock Department Saiwan Lekipes said most of the locals lost their livestock to drought. The camels were mostly supplied to lower regions of Samburu, such as the east and the north.
Sana sana wakati wa kiangazi ng'ombe wanaenda mbali kutafuta malisho, lakini ngamia wanabaki nyumbani na ndio wako na maziwa, watoto wanakunywa na watu wazee pia. Kwa hivyo kupigana na climate change ama climate change, kwa sababu kuadapt to climate change we have to resort to the camel, which is a miracle animal because it withstands drought.
Mimi ni mzee mmoja, nilikuwa na ng'ombe mingi sana na mbuzi, lakini wakati ya jilali ilikuja tu sote sikaenda sikaisha, yani kuisha. Sasa baada ya hii sasa county naye tunashukuru, sababu sasa ametuletea mfugo ile inatusaidia hata wakati ya jilali, sababu ngamia ni kitu itayasana na jilali sana.
Na hii ngamia iko watu wengine mingi haina ngamia, na ngamia ndio muhimu kwetu. Wakati ya jirani hii ng'ombe anaenda mahali inabaki, sisi nabaki na ngamia, na ngamia anakuanga na maziwa wakati ya kosa ya kulisha watoto na ile wase kubwa kubwa.
The Kenya Veterinary Paraprofessionals Association is opposing the move to establish a new regulatory body to approve veterinary medicines for use in the country. According to the association, the introduction of the new regulatory body could lock out the country's livestock products in the international market. Addressing the media in Naivasha, the KVPA National Association Chairman John Ngigi noted the move could create confusion as the country already has an existing veterinary regulatory body with a similar function. Further, he warned the move could erode gains.
Tackling AMR and the gains made in this endeavor are likely going to be rolled back, given that there will be another cadre that are not competent to advise farmers on correct usage of veterinary medicine in their livestock and ensuring withdrawal periods. Only the VPPs and VS trained and registered have the capacity to ensure correct use of veterinary medicine in animal, especially food animal. This role cannot be given to a pharmaceutical technologist. That the bill be clear on its wrong title to avoid ambiguity, that the interpretations and application expurge all veterinary products and veterinary professionals.
Also, the county government of Kisii County, in collaboration with the national government, are set to crack down on peddlers of fake fertilizers. This was revealed during a joint meeting by representatives of the two levels of government and the County Executive Committee member for Agriculture and Fisheries Development Docket, Elijah Obori, who expressed concerns over the emerging cases of distribution of fake fertilizer in the devolved unit. The CECM cited an incident at the Suneka in Kisii South Sub-County where two people were arrested in possession of adulterated government fertilizers meant for distribution to farmers. He cautioned farmers to refrain from buying fertilizers or, for that matter, seedlings that are not certified by the government.
Recently, some people at Suneka were found to be manufacturing fake fertilizer, and they have been taken to court. So today we have had this meeting to communicate to the people that our farmers should not go to the markets and purchase anything which is purported to be a fertilizer being sold in the open air market.
And now to Nyanza, where Siaya County government officials were at pains to explain a 26 million shilling expenditure on Bondo Bus Parkland ownership claims. The officials, led by the County Executive Committee member for Finance, George Nyinginyiro, and the acting county attorney, Leonard Okanda, were tasked to justify why the county incurred such a claim, with the Auditor General raising a red flag over the expenditure. Appearing before the County Assembly Public Accounts and Investment Committee, chaired by the Yala Township MCA William Kinyanyi, the officials informed the committee that the amount was arrived at after a group sued the county government for interfering with their land. The County Attorney Okanda said the county resorted to out-of-court settlement after it emerged that though it was in possession of the title deed for the land on which it was constructing a modern bus park in Bondo Town, it could not prove how it acquired it.
We had paid for this thing. Perhaps the previous office holder have some information about this, right? Why did we involve them?
So up to this extent, don't you know that like all the markets and most of the land that is owned by the county government will suffer the same? Because if this is just one of them, then it is evident that in the subsequent markets, whether you will be developing there or you will not be developing, then there's an underlying issue that is similar to this one.
Now, in the presence of that glaring anomaly, you cannot commit the county government to continue pursuing this interest when you know for a fact you are fighting a losing battle. Remember that in court, we don't go to court to argue the way I'm talking like this. In court, you go with evidence. In the absence of evidence, there is absolutely nothing you're telling court. So for those reasons, we had no reason to continue pursuing that matter, which is why
Police in Kerugoya, Kirinyaga County have imposed a ban on all town operation after 11 p.m. The move follows after a protest led by Kirinyaga Central Member of Parliament Gashogi Gitari and residents who stormed the Kerugoya police station over claims of rising insecurity. The residents have voiced concerns over security lapses, further criticizing the police for not acting timely on reports. The County Police Commander Andrew Naibei, however, assured the residents of increased patrol draws. This comes following the alleged murder of a man days ago after he attempted to help an M-Pesa agent who was being attacked by armed men.
A 13-year-old, a grade 7, was murdered at Kevingo area by somebody who is known, who is still at ranch. And it is over a month. And we always hear, serikali ni mrefu. Kwani imekuwa fupi hapa Kirinyaga Central?
Hiyo kesi tayari kama mmeripoti iko under investigation, police tunatengeneza charge sheet aende kotini anytime from tomorrow. Kwa hivyo ya pili iko malilio ingine imesemekana kwamba kuna banki hizi pikipiki ambazo zinapiga kelele. Kama wewe uko na pikipiki umetoa exhaust, enda rudisha leo.
A non-governmental organization has intensified efforts to combat jiggers infestation in Ndhiwa and Suba South sub-counties of Homa Bay County. Many families in the area have been severely affected, with some struggling to carry out daily activities. In Arembe village, the family of Matthew Sakumu has battled jiggers for the past 3 years, facing immense hardships due to jigger infestation. The non-governmental organization took the lead in treating Akumu's family and ensuring a full recovery. Health officials in the region emphasize the importance of community involvement in maintaining hygiene and sanitation to prevent future outbreaks. They encourage society to support affected families and reduce the stigma surrounding the jigger infestation.
Hii vidudu ilianza 2011 na ilianza watoto ndio walianza nazo. Watu wakubwa walikuwa wanapata moja, lakini watoto ilikuwa inashika zaidi, lakini wako wanatembea sule, wakienda wengine waendi wanabaki.
We started this project in Ndhiwa in the year 2001. Through the support of the MOH team, we managed to get the report through the CHP, community health promoters. Then we learned, according to the report they sent to us, we learned that the family of Mzee Akumu was more affected because almost pupils in this home were affected.
Jiggers is just a neglected disease which can affect anybody, whether you are rich, whether you are poor, it can affect you.
It is 27 minutes past the hour. We're taking our first breather, but don't go too far. We still have more for you on the other side.
Kuhusu na hii kesi ni ya mtu mlagai. Mtu ambaye ana huruma.
If your knowledge, how comes a big person like you, you are giving passengers, part vehicle? Why?
Are you listening to yourself?
I'm listening myself.
Unajisikiza ukiongea?
Of course, why not? So, kielele ni nini umeleta hapa kwa koti?
Kielele tena? Wewe unahatarisha maisha.
Hii ni kielele mzima. Na umesema chio ilikuwa imevunjika huko
ya nyuma.
Haki nini wachinga kweli?
Nimekupata na hatia ya kosa hilo na nimekufunga kifungo cha miaka 6.
6?
Hesabu 1 2 3 4 5 6.
Kwa mtu ana watoto 7 kama mimi.
Maxine, she's not a victim.
No, I'm not.
You don't know who Alex is.
What's up between you and Jim?
You always want to get too involved and that's dangerous.
Kwani what do lovers do?
Kama kuna mtu wako na swali, anaweza uliza.
Mimi sidhani niko ready kujua kweli sasa.
Kwa nini unafuata pesa zangu za nyumba?
Mimi imagine sina interest na hizo do. Na hizo do zenyewe umeweka wapi?
Sisi wote tumemweka kwa ingori, sawa. So hiyo ikitoka tunagawana sisi wote half.
At you will try and find time.
Sana fanya nini huko?
Mmeboeshana. But you see, wewe ni mdogo sana kwenda kwa sababu ya makosa ya fadhako.
It's okay, I'll be fine.
Tishna yule mtupa wapi?
Welcome back and thank you for staying with us. Now, schools in Turkana County have recorded an influx of learners admission subsequently, making it a huge challenge for school feeding program. A spot check by Channel 1 to ascertain the bottlenecks in the education sector found out that the food ration supplied to the schools is not commensurate to the increasing number of learners being admitted. Stakeholders in the education sector, among them parents and school managements, are now calling for the national government to increase the food supplies to foster a seamless learning process.
Chakula itoshi na serikali ndio baba na mama. Watoto wanataka kusoma, hiyo ndio the only hope imebaki kwa watoto. Wakipata nafasi wakienda shule, hata kama watakula chakula hiyo moja kwa siku, itawasaidia ili waweze kujikimu wakisukuma hii gurudumu ya maisha.
Turkana kuna mashule ambapo siko remote area mbali ambapo kama hakuna chakula itakuwa ni shida. Na chakula kama inakosekana kwa shule, hasa wa Turkana ambapo wako mbali. Kama chakula inakosekana kwa shule, hakuna mtu anaenda kwa shule.
Ninaomba tu ya kwamba serikali yetu ikumbuka watoto hata tunapokuwa katika likizo, ili watoto wapate kuwa hapa shuleni, wanakuja wanafanya kazi kidogo, wanasoma kidogo, wanakula na wanaenda nyumbani sasa jioni.
Judges and magistrates in Migori County have launched a countrywide sensitization training aimed at equipping chiefs and their assistants with a better understanding of the judicial process. The initiative, conducted at the sub-county level, seeks to improve efficiency in legal proceedings and promote alternative dispute resolutions. Lady Justice Anne Ongijo, speaking at one of the training sessions at the Migori High Court, emphasized that the program is designed to minimize delays in obtaining crucial information, particularly in land and succession cases.
That the chiefs deal with that have legal implications. One of them is issues of succession. We have issues of defilement. We have land disputes, so many issues. We thought it is very wise to use the knowledge that judiciary has, and many of those issues come to them.
So the trainings are important, and we have agreed that even when the chiefs have their barazas and we have time, we'll be able to go out of our way and go and talk to them, talk to their subjects on the ground.
And now to the courts, where a businessman has denied receiving 6.8 million shillings from an investor who intended to purchase an apartment along Gong Road. The accused, David Kinyuandegwa, appeared before Milimani Law Court, where he pleaded not guilty to the charges leveled against him. Our court reporter Deborah Letour has more details on this and other stories making headlines from the corridors of justice.
The accused, David Kinyuandegwa, denies allegations of obtaining Kenya shilling 6.8 million from an investor seeking to buy an apartment. The case, which dates back to transactions between 2016 and 2018, was presented before presiding magistrate Susan Shitobi. Ndegwa is accused of receiving the money from Richard Emuru Obo under false pretenses. However, in court today, Ndegwa family denies the charges. The magistrate granted him release on a cash bail of Kenya shillings 100,000 or a bond of Kenya shillings 500,000 with one surety.
And in addition, he'll deposit his passport in court. Prosecution to supply the defense copies of all documents to be used at the trial.
The case is set for mention on March 6, 2025 for a pre-trial conference, which further legal proceedings will be determined. And elsewhere, a suspect linked to the transportation of 1,500 kilos of donkey meat, 15 donkey hides and other animal parts has been arraigned in an Embu court. The suspect was intercepted by police along the Kiritiri-Embu highway while carrying the illicit cargo. He is facing charges of engaging in illegal meat trade and endangering public health. The prosecution revealed that detectives are pursuing other individuals believed to be part of the syndicate. The court ordered the suspect to remain in custody pending further investigations, with a mention date set for next week.
Tumeulizwa tuweze kuwajibika sana wakati tunaangalia nyama yoyote yenye inasafirishwa ili kuepukana na wananchi kupatana na madhara ya ugonjwa wa anthrax. na ndio tuweze kuimarisha afya ya wananchi.
Tumefanya audit. We are yet to give out the report. We are yet to seek court order to dispose the meat today.
And finally, Lea Mudhoni Moura, a director of Vasco Real Estate, was charged at Thika Law Court with land fraud after her arrest following prolonged evasion of authorities. She pleaded not guilty to obtaining Kenya shillings 9.8 million from 2 individuals under false pretenses. Thika Principal Magistrate Yusuf Baraza ordered her detention until March 3, 2025 for charge consolidation and bond consideration.
The defense to be supplied with all the necessary pretrial documents. This file shall be mentioned before court number 1, which is handling similar matters, for consideration, for consolidation, and for further orders including bond terms. Meanwhile, the accused person shall be remanded in custody.
To make a similar application that the defense be supplied with a copy of the charge sheet.
Now, a quick look at what is happening at the devolved units. The Kenya Pipeline Company Foundation has unveiled a 5 million shillings infrastructural project in Homa Bay County, marking a significant step in improving learning conditions and reducing congestion in educational institutions in the region. More of these details and other stories is in our County News Roundup.
The project, which was officially commissioned at Siburi Secondary School, includes the construction of a newly built girls' dormitory designed to provide a safe, comfortable and conducive learning environment for students.
When we were looking at that project, at the cost of 5 million, the finishing work which was done there, I want to applaud the school administration led by the principal and the chairman. You've done a fantastic job.
In Kilifi County, over 100 women from the Malindi Mnazi Sellers Women Group have received market umbrellas and a cash donation of 100,000 Kenyan shillings to boost their businesses.
Mwaka uliopita walikuwa na merry-go-round yao, lakini kwa sababu ya hali ya maisha ilivyo ngumu, kile chama chao zile pesa ikabidi wazigawanye kwa sababu ya hali ya maisha ilivyo ngumu.
Tulikuwa tunateseka sana. Sisi ni wauzaji biashara ndogo ndogo. Tunachoma viazi kwenye jua.
Haya ndio maneno ambayo kwamba tulikuwa tumeyatarajia. Na wakina mama leo unaona tabasamu ambayo kwamba iko. Watu wamefurahi kupokea vifaa ambavyo kwamba vitawasaidia katika kuendesha biashara zao.
Still in Kilifi, residents of Bomani Kireme Junju Ward, Kilifi South constituency are decrying the new charges to obtain critical government documents. They are now appealing to the government to intervene and reduce the fees.
Wengine ni wale wa kungangana. Kijana wangu nimelipa 330. Alafu kuna mwingine ambaye alipoteza nikalipa 1,150. So tungeomba, wengine hawana. Je, serikali ifanye nini mpaka wengine nao wasaidike? Kwa sababu ni wakati ni mgumu.
Elsewhere, Maasai and Kikuyu community elders have moved in earnest to bury the hatchet in a bid to preach peace and unity. This comes following the recent slur by some politicians in Nyeri County against the Maasai community at a burial in Laikipia a week ago.
Wameongea kwa njia ya mila na wakatengeneza hiyo kosa kwa sababu hatutaki kutokee shida kati ya jamii hizi mbili ambazo ni majirani, marafiki na ni mashemeji.
Meanwhile, the county government of Nyeri plans to set aside a Heroes Square in honor of fallen Mau Mau liberation icon Field Marshal Dedan Kimathi. The memorial square is expected to be built on a 50 hectares piece of land near Kahigaini Hills Park, where Kimathi was arrested by British colonial police officer Ian Henderson on October 1st, 1956.
Tunaomba katika KFS tupewe ekari 50 ambapo tutatengeneza hifadhi ya wa heroes. Sio tu Kimathi, ni wengi. Na makafadhi ya Kenya tunawaambia wafanye hiyo historia, watuambie ni nani walipigania uhuru, ni akina nani, tuwafanyie pia minara.
Finally, it was a joyous celebration in Narok County as Josephine Seneio Torome, who had petitioned Jubilee over the nomination slot, was sworn in as member of County Assembly. Torome got the slot after successfully petitioning the party to quash the nomination of Alice Kering, who the court found to be from neighboring Nakuru County, also not a member of the Jubilee Party.
Ninasema ni asante kwa supporters wangu kaunti nzima, kwa sababu isipokuwa ni nyinyi singekuwa hapa.
And now, welcome to the world of business. The Central Bank of Kenya is encouraging financial institutions to collaborate with technology providers to build a resilient, secure and inclusive digital economy. Central Bank of Kenya ICT Director Dr. Walter Onyino challenges the financial institutions to embrace innovation and evolution of digital banking to expand their services while also increasing financial inclusion, especially to the unbanked and those in remote areas.
Mental in delivering robust core banking and digital transformation solutions. Private and public sector collaboration is vital in fostering a resilient and inclusive financial system.
The gaps, I think, would be around partnerships. I think we can partner a lot more. We can collaborate a lot more. There's still a lot more operations in silos, people working independently. And if we come together, I think we can do a lot more.
Realization, that is adopting a world-class software solution, terminus, and custom fitting it to local conditions, in this case, Kenya. So it's a world-class software customized for a national environment.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, as they resume.
Also, startups in Mombasa County are set to benefit from capital injection following the launch of the Umoja Investment Collective Network that aims to mobilize local capital to support emerging ventures and drive sustainable growth. The network was launched following the signing of a memorandum of understanding between the Kenya National Chamber of Commerce and Industry, Mombasa Chapter, and the Westerwell Foundation, Kenya.
Data from the Big Deal Africa shows that Kenya attracted $638 million in 2024, representing 29% of Africa's total startup funding. Majority of the investment flows into the capital, Nairobi, with startups in peripheral cities receiving less. To inject capital into the startup environment of the coast region, business leaders and entrepreneurs keen to mobilize local capital have come together to launch the Umoja Investment Collective. Westerwell Foundation Kenya Country Director Joshua Murimas says the initiative will focus on local investment by providing startups with much-needed funding and strategic mentorship.
There's a cross-section of members in different industries, SMEs. The foundation is now here to offer support, especially to startups. Mombasa has been shied away from investors, but now the foundation will allow and have a platform for people, investors, angel investors, to have a look at what is available in Mombasa as startups and to promote them and to invest in them.
KNCCI Mombasa Chapter Chairman Abud Jamal stressed that the partnership will enable entrepreneurs gain financial independence and reduce their reliance on international funding sources.
Mombasa has been known as a business hub, but we want to take it a notch higher and show that we are also a center of excellence in terms of entrepreneurial activity and the startup ecosystem. So we want to pledge our support as the business community in attracting more angel investors locally so that we don't over-rely on outside funding, but we also get to mobilize resources here locally.
The initiative is poised to not only boost individual enterprises, but also invigorate the broader startup ecosystem, positioning Mombasa as a leading center for entrepreneurial activity in the region.
The economy is projected to grow 5.3% this year, up from 4.6% in 2024, with the expansion driven by a resilient service sector and enhanced agricultural productivity. National Treasury Principal Secretary Dr. Chris Kiptor says that the government is undertaking reforms focused on value-added agricultural exports as well as innovations to foster long-term growth.
National Treasury Principal Secretary says the economy will accelerate, supported by good rains that will anchor the agriculture sector, which contributes a third to the gross domestic product.
You can see we're expecting to be doing much better at around 5%. And 5% is not bad growth.
He says the good rains projected for this year, coupled with the government interventions such as the subsidized fertilizer program and mechanizing agriculture, will help boost harvests.
We are focusing on the key areas of this government, which is agriculture, MSMEs, housing, healthcare, and digital superhighway.
The lowering of the benchmark lending rate by the Central Bank of Kenya is posed to support increased lending to the private sector that will positively impact both the services and manufacturing sectors.
We are trying to also see how to de-risk. So we came up with a credit guarantee scheme. And this scheme has 7 banks, including you, DTB, that we expect will work together to see that when you lend, you can lend to more risk sectors because we have this credit guarantee scheme.
He believes a thriving agriculture sector and increased value addition after completion of construction of some of the county aggregation and industry parks, as well as a robust micro, small and medium-sized enterprises, will anchor the recovery of the manufacturing sector. Ndutamo Kami for Lunchtime News.
And on the international front, President Donald Trump has expressed frustrations with Boeing over delays in the delivery of two new Air Force One planes. Originally slated for delivery in 2024, the aircraft are now expected to arrive in 2027 or 2028. Speaking aboard one of the current presidential aircraft, Trump criticized the slow progress and suggested exploring alternative options, including potentially purchasing a used plane. This comes after the president had renegotiated the contract during his first term, citing concerns over the cost.
Speaking about one of the current 35-year-old planes, Trump revealed he is considering alternative options, including potentially purchasing a used aircraft. The contract for this upgraded Boeing 747-8 planes was negotiated during Trump's first term, but the project has faced significant setbacks, costing Boeing billions of dollars. Boeing has struggled with delays and losses, reporting a record of $11.8 billion loss in 2024, its worst financial results since the pandemic. With ongoing issues across various sectors, including commercial and defense programs, the aerospace giant faces a tough time ahead. Meanwhile, the UK has seen its inflation rate surge to 3% in January, its highest in 10 months. The rise in consumer prices is being driven by increased food prices, airfares, and education costs. The Bank of England is now predicting inflation could reach 3.7% later this year, with concerns that it could exceed 4%. Market expectations suggest the bank may hold interest rates steady at its March meeting, but the economic outlook remains uncertain. Finally, in East China's Jiangsu province has claimed the top spot in China's national electricity market for 2024, with a transaction volume exceeding 470 billion kilowatts per hour. Notably, the province has made significant strides in green energy, with green electricity trading surpassing 12 billion kilowatts per hour for the first time, reaching 12.657 billion. This marks a 143% year-on-year increase. The environmental impact is substantial, with a shift to green energy helping to reduce coal's consumption by over 3.8 million tons and cutting carbon dioxide emission by more than 9.68 million.
And now finally, welcome to the world of sports. Sports Principal Secretary Engineer Peter Toom has underscored the critical role that sports play in schools as foundational platforms for discovering and nurturing young talent. He highlighted that the government's investment in school sports have produced significant results, citing the success of Harambee Starlets players like Velma War, Lorna Faith and Quinta Adhiambo, Christine Adhiambo and Halima Imbachi, who have all risen through this programs. Engineer Toom made these remarks when he visited the national women's soccer team, Harambee Starlets, and the under-17 girls national team, the Junior Starlets, at their residential training camp at Kasarani Stadium. Harambee Starlets are preparing to face Tunisia tomorrow in the first leg of the WAFCON qualifiers at Ulinzi Sports Complex before traveling to Tunis on the 26th of this month for the return leg. The winner will face either Nigeria or Gambia in the next round in their quest to secure a spot in the Women Africa Cup of Nations finals in Morocco. The Junior Starlets team, on the other hand, is preparing for their FIFA World Cup qualifier in Uganda with the aim of securing their second consecutive appearance in the global showpiece.
And we are happy as government because our aim of identifying talent, nurturing that talent and monetizing is bearing fruit down the line. And you realized that most of the seniors are girls who are playing in other jurisdictions. And that is giving us a feel of pride as a country.
So I'd like to urge all Kenyans from wherever they are to support the team. I think the game will be also live on KBC on Friday, but we want to urge fans to come out in large numbers. I don't have much to say, but to wish the girls success in every way as we prepare also for Harambee Stars and we prepare all the other national teams. We'd like to just say that we are behind you and we want to commit once again that we will do everything in our power to support you.
Well, of course, the Champions League was on, given that yesterday was the final playoffs of the UEFA Champions League. We do know that Real Madrid, of course, have kicked out Manchester City with a 6-goal aggregate. So let's take a look at the highlights of yesterday's match at the Bernabeu. Now, with that disappointing match at the Bernabeu, we do know that Manchester City are set to face the league leaders, who are Liverpool, this Sunday. You do know what happened yesterday night also, where Liverpool drew to Aston Villa. We wait to see what will happen in the weekend, as well as the mighty Gunners are set to face in a North London derby against West Ham. That concludes our coverage this afternoon. Do join us in our subsequent bulletins. My name is Abdiaziz Hashim. The sign language interpreter at the bottom end of the screen is Brian Muraru. Enjoy the rest of your viewing.
I can get you to Kai's good side.
Wewe unaamini nikiwa swaraje?
Really, you can be that careless even after what you've gone through.
I think we need to cool off.
This obsession you have with Kekara is going to get you killed.
Your daughter is more trouble than you realize.
I forbid you from going to that old man's compound.
Unaona hii tabia yako ya babako imekufanya mpaka you're not even thinking straight.
Please don't try bring a dead man into this conversation.
I didn't think you would have the guts to face me after your betrayal.
But you didn't give me any choice.
You were hired to do one thing.
Call me one more time and I'll cut ties with you.
Things are getting tight.
Tell your daughter.
Try me, Kekara.
What? Motto.
We're here to meet the couple. Come, I'm excited.
Tukulete wale wasichana wa airport wa nini alafu.
We met in 2017. Yeah. Ukisikia nimeblanda si unanichuna tu. So your time nimeamua mimi na serve. Yeah. Nimekuwa heartbroken right, left and center. Niko like mimi niko like Yesu.
But tukiendelea kuenda, she comes back and asks me, so unajua amefika home, nipatie namba. Niko like wewe unanipenda, wewe unanitaka wewe. Niko like wewe unanitaka wewe.
But that was the first time I ever gave my number to a lady.
That night we speak for a very long time.
Yeah.
A very long time. So I'm like, okay, let's go, let's see. Yeah. So when he dropped the manifesto, I'm like, oh, there it goes. There it goes. I wasn't ready. And I told him, come on a date 10, God. Yeah.
Senior bishop sitaki.
We'll be having a conversation of, is there love in the 21st century? Munaeka standards zenye hata your own parents hawajamit. So how do you expect this son of Adam to achieve some standards?
Love is an illusion that becomes reality when there is chemistry of personality. Shortcuts. Sometimes shortcuts are the longest cuts. Kuna kitu inaitwa process. God allowing you to kuwa na 3 P's. 1, promise, 2, process, then provision. Na hapa kwa process, most of us tunapotelea.
In the 21st century, generations may change, but there are ancient patterns that will never change, irrespective of a generational change.